Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our regularly scheduled county council meeting. We are going to go into our public hearing, which starts at 6:30. So I'm going to turn this over. Let's see. 1A is NEMI Perimeter Center lease.
Notice is hereby given that Charleston County Council will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, April 26 at 6:30 p.m. prior to the final action being taken to enter into a lease agreement for property owned by the county. The property is located within the Perimeter Center, and County Council is considering a lease with the National Alliance on Mental Illness.
Okay, anybody sign up to speak?
No, sir.
Any council members got any questions? I got one for you. So in this lease, they would understand that, they would have 30 days to vacate if we decided that we want to do something else with that building.
Yes, that's written.
That's written in the lease, and then it would be their responsibility to find a place, not ours. It would be their responsibility to find a place to go when they vacate, right? It won't be ours, because I don't want that to be put on the backs of the taxpayers, so. All right, so, Madam Attorney, would you make sure all that's in the lease, that they vacate within 30 days if we give them a notice, and it's not our responsibility to house them somewhere else? Yes, sir. All right, now, so what about the light and the water? Are we responsible for that? All right, I don't have a problem with that. I just don't want, we get 2 or 3 years down the road, and we decide to do something else in the building, and then these people are crying, well, I got no place else to go, y'all promised me. So would you make sure that's in the lease? All right, item 1B is PRC bonds.
Notice is hereby given that Charleston County Council will hold a public hearing with respect to a proposed ordinance authorizing the issuance of not exceeding $8 million general obligation bonds by the Charleston County Park and Recreation District in one or more series.
Okay, anybody signed up to speak on this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, anything from the council? Okay, I haven't said nothing, that concludes that. All right, so we now go into our public engagement with council comments. Listen to the public, we have a 30-minute period where we have allowed each speaker 2 minutes. So I'm going to ask that you give us your name and your address and keep your comments to 2 minutes. Our first person is?
We have 10 people signed up. The first person is Scott Barheit, followed by Glenda Miller.
Okay, we need your name and address, sir, and you can start your 2 minutes.
Good evening. My name is Scott Barheit. I work at the Charleston Metro Chamber of Commerce, whose address is 4922 O'Hare Avenue in North Charleston. I'm here to restate the Chamber of Commerce's support, along with all the 1,600 members, for the completion of I-526. I also want to take just a brief moment to thank you. It's the first time I've had the opportunity in public to thank you for the appointment of our newly identified Housing Executive Fellow, Craig Logan, to your Housing Committee. Very much appreciate that opportunity to have him serve in that capacity, and just want to publicly thank you for that.
Thank you, sir, for your comment. Thank you. Next person?
Glenda Miller, followed by Jason
Crawley.
Okay.
Miller, 3377 Cottage Plantation Road, Johns Island. And I would like to urge council to be very open and transparent in their discussions and consideration of 526 in light of the new price tag that was announced. My personal opinion is we should just cut our losses and not spend another dime on this project, unless, of course, the chamber and its 1,600 members want to come up with the shortfall.
Thank you. Next person?
Jason Crawley, followed by Graham Hale.
Good evening, members. My name is Jason Crowley, Communities and Transportation Program Director for the Coastal Conservation League, 131 Spring Street. I think, again, continuing with the 526 discussion, the information that was released today is pretty eye-opening and jaw-dropping. $2.3 billion for the cost overruns is pretty extreme, and it is going to have a pretty big decision for you all in council of what you do moving forward. You are currently obligated to pay everything over $420 million. So $1.9 billion is a lot of money for this council in this county that we just don't have. And this opens up the opportunity to really have this good public discussion, and I hope that we are able to have this conversation openly and with the public and have a workshop or something to discuss how the county is going to move forward with these next steps. $2.3 billion is about $250 million a mile for this project. Just by comparison, the current allocated budget for the main road project, which is $14 million, or 14 miles, is somewhere around $14 million a mile. So we're talking about a lot of money for a project that just does not have the benefit for our region, and we hope that this is an opportunity for the county to walk away from this project once and for all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Graham Hale, Charles McDonald.
And that means that Middleton should be on the
I don't see him.
satellite, right?
I don't know that he's joined yet,
Okay,
but the opportunity is
all
there
right,
for him.
go right ahead, sir.
Good evening, council members. My name is Graham Hell. I'm the new district director for Congresswoman Nancy Mace. I just wanted to come introduce myself. I'll be in the back at the end if anybody wants to have a one-on-one. As I said, I'm new, so I just wanted to come and meet everyone and chat if there's any thing we can help with. If anything at all, we're on, again, I'll remind everybody, we're on the Infrastructure and Transportation Committee, Veterans Committee, and Oversight Committee, so I think there should be at least something that we can be of assistance with. So happy to talk with anybody and everyone. Again, my name is Graham Hell. Feel free to reach out to the office if you have any questions at any time.
Got any cards with you?
I do.
Would you please leave with this nice lady to my right?
I sure will.
Leave 9 of them if you will.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Charles McDonald, Luann Rosenwig.
Good evening, Council. My name is Charles McDonald, 729 Riverland Drive, James Island. Thank you, Councilman Darby, Middleton, and Weirman for attending the Nehemiah action on April 4th. Your attendance and willingness to participate in public dialogue about our growing housing crisis is commendable. You clearly understand the cost of being able to afford a home in Charleston County is not keeping pace with the income of this area. Currently, the average income is about $42,000, while the average cost of a home is almost $400,000. That ratio is clearly out of balance and one of the main reasons why people are no longer able to afford homes in Charleston County. It has been said here in this very chamber many times that we need over 2,600 affordable units per year for the next 10 years to even keep up with the growth in this area. Less than 10% of that is being achieved. But a housing trust fund will help us get there. So the ask here is the same as it has been month after month. Use $10 million from the ARPA funds for an affordable housing trust fund. Our residents deserve to have safe housing that they can afford without spending the majority of their earnings. Thank you.
Thank you.
Luann Rosenwig, George Richardson.
I'm Luann Rosenzweig. I live at 365 Sugarcane Way in Mount Pleasant. I'm here to continue to encourage you to maintain your commitment to creating more opportunities for affordable housing. The Post and Courier just released an article on April 23rd entitled, "Charleston Among Most Unaffordable U.S. Counties to Own a Home." We rank 19th among the 26 counties that are no longer affordable, and we are the only county in South Carolina on that list. That's unacceptable. That is not what our county should be known for. Housing is a fundamental right. Being able to afford a home that doesn't cause you to spend the majority of your own earnings should be attainable in Charleston County. More and more of our residents are being displaced and pushed to Berkeley and Dorchester counties. Some of our residents have been here for generations. Affordable Housing Trust Fund. The 41 is a drop in the bucket for affordable housing. Please fund the Affordable Housing Trust Fund. Thank you.
Okay, next person.
George Richardson, Kate Nevin.
Good evening, council members. My name is George Richardson. I reside at 1804 Battery Island Drive, which is James Island. I'm also the president over the Beefield community. I'm here because, as you all know, we're striving to become a historical district. I want to simply say that a few days ago, I took the opportunity to just kind of drive through the neighborhood and just kind of reflect on exactly what exists. I saw wild turkeys. I saw foxes, among some other rare species that sometime migrate to this area. And it was quite a moving experience because I drove through some other communities that I recognized when I was a little boy, but now as a grown man, I hardly know them. And it kind of touched me that, you know what? This is a perfect opportunity for us to preserve what we have that has been lost in several other communities. And it's for that reason I stand before you saying that I do hope that you all will see through my eyes what we see in the Beefield community and support us in our endeavor to become an historical district. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Kate Nevin, Bradley Taggart.
Kate Nevin, 3211 NG Lane, Johns Island. I'm a co-founder of Rational Roads, and although we appreciate the recent engagement we had with staff, it is clear there wasn't the follow-through that council members expected after we presented to you on February 24th. We met with staff and agreed to several of their recommended changes. However, they refused to include some of the key elements of Alternative 6, elements that would have been both effective in managing congestion and less destructive to our culture and environment. As a result, on Thursday, county staff will unveil to the public an Alternative 6 that has significant changes to what we spent the last year and a half developing with the community. These significant county design changes include, most alarmingly, the needless over-design of the intersection at Maybank, Main, and Bohicket, resulting in the destruction of multiple businesses. Staff also changed the original design for Hot Gap area, resulting in the destruction of multiple homes. The integrity of Alternative 6 has been compromised with the big roads before community mentality. Now with the shocking price tag of $2 billion plus for 526, we have even more concerns about Main Road Segment C and whether or not it will proceed. We encourage council to be authentic about the engagement with the community. However, we do believe that there is still the ability to have a win for everyone, City Islanders, County Council, and county staff. It's still on the table. To achieve this win, county must implement Rational Roads Alternative 6, not the county staff design version. This means reduce the size of the roundabout at the Maybank Main Bohicket intersection as originally proposed, extend Segment C north to Chisholm Road to address the school's safety and access issues. This includes installing a roundabout at Main and Chisholm Roads and adding bike ped paths to Angel Oak Elementary and St. John's High. Work with the Charleston County School District to provide better access to Hot Gap Middle School without impacting neighboring homes as originally proposed by Rational Roads, and enhance the neighborhood on Bohicket south of Edenvale by lowering the speed limit, implementing no passing zone, providing turnouts for disabled vehicles, and for traffic. Thank you for this opportunity to speak with you.
Bradley Taggart, Rich Thomas.
Bradley Taggart, 1633 Jesse Elizabeth Road, Johns Island. I'm the co-founder of Charlestonians for I-526 with over 11,000 followers on social media. Regarding the recent cost estimate for I-526, we have been in the midst of a historic commodities bubble brought on by the coronavirus pandemic. I'm asking you to not make a long-term transportation decision based on short-term fluctuations in commodities prices. As interest rates have risen over the past month, commodities prices have begun to crater to where we could be looking at a project that costs half as much in 6 months' time once the market rebalances. I urge you to follow the recommendation of Christy Hall from SCDOT and finish the preliminary work on the project and get it to a shovel-ready state and see what the market looks like at that point. This project is immensely important to the people of Charleston County. We're talking about over 60 million driving miles saved per year, over 50 million driving hours saved per year. Yes, I understand the sticker shock, but there is every reason, based on history and current price movements, to believe that the current cost surge will be short-lived. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next one is Rich Thomas.
Good evening, thank you. I'm Rich Thomas, Betsy Carrison Speedway on Johns Island. I see you're going to do executive session to discuss some contractual matters this evening. I hope that matter that you're discussing is how to unwind this contract related to the 526 extension. $2.35 billion is an absolutely astounding amount of money. Astounding. It will be the largest expenditure on a road ever done in this state, I believe. The cost increase over the last estimate in 2015, $720 million, is $1.63 billion. That's over twice the original. The increase is over twice that estimate 7 years ago. Every hour we sit here, the cost increase is $26,000. 1 day cost increase on this project, $638,000 per day. It's absolutely insane to be contemplating continuing with something that costs this much money when there are so many pressing needs in the county. Alt 6 on Johns Island that I and many other neighbors have been working on with our own time and money. Affordable housing that the lady mentioned. So I urge you in your executive session do two things. One is talk about unwinding this contract, saving the taxpayers' money, and second of all, coming back and having an open, honest discussion about what you discussed and what the plan is to go forward in unwinding the contract for this astoundingly incredible amount of money for 7 or 8 miles of road. I made a spreadsheet with a graph that shows for you, and maybe you can look at it when you go to your executive session. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, that concludes our public comments. We're now going to get ready to go into our regularly scheduled county council meeting. I see the rabbi in the back. I know y'all came for, the resolution. Would you like to lead us in prayer tonight? You can come right up to the mic here, sir.
Thank you. I'm Rabbi Greg Cantor of Kahal Kadosh Beth Elohim in downtown Charleston. And we pray this evening that our work together will make this community stronger, bring people, and together let us say, Amen.
Recognitions and resolutions. Ms. Salisbury?
In compliance with the Freedom of Information Act, notice of meeting was posted and agendas were distributed to news media and persons requesting notification.
Okay, second item is minutes of March 31, 2022 and April 5th. What is the pleasure? Move for approval. Second. Moved by Ms. Johnson, seconded by Mr. Moody. Any discussion, additions, or deletions? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, ayes have it. Item 3 is recognitions and resolutions A through C. What is the pleasure?
Approval all items.
Mr. Moody, is it second? Second. Second by Mr. Sass. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, your ayes have it. The first is Holocaust Remembrance Resolution. Y'all want to come up as she read the resolution?
Yes, sir. A resolution of Charleston County Council proclaiming the days of remembrance in memory of the victims of the Holocaust. Whereas the Holocaust was the state-sponsored systematic persecution and annihilation of European Jewry by Nazi Germany and its collaborators between 1933 and 1945. And whereas we remember with sadness the 11 million people, including 6 million Jews who were the victims of Hitler's final solution, along with those who were persecuted for their religious and political beliefs, sexual orientation, and physical disabilities. And whereas we remember with admiration the resistors and rescuers, known and unknown, who risked and lost their lives to save others. And whereas we remember with respect the survivors who escaped, were sheltered, and who were freed, and who lived to contribute so much to our community and to our world. And whereas the history of the Holocaust offers an opportunity to reflect on the moral responsibilities of individual societies and governments. And whereas we have an obligation to ensure that the memory and legacy of lives lost or forever changed in this horrific event are never forgotten. And whereas we remember and honor the liberators which liberated the World War II concentration camps 77 years ago. Now therefore be it resolved that Charleston County Council does hereby pledge today to firmly commit ourselves to never again, and to work to promote human dignity by confronting intolerance and hate whenever and wherever it occurs. Be it further resolved that Charleston County Council, pursuant to an act of Congress and United States Holocaust Memorial Council, does hereby proclaim the week of April 24th through May 1st, 2022 as days of remembrance in memory of the victims, survivors, rescuers, and liberators of the Holocaust, and encourages citizens to join the community-wide Yom HaShoah Holocaust Remembrance Program on Sunday, May 1st at 2 p.m., held downtown at the Holocaust Memorial in Marion Square. This year's theme is Turning Memory to Strength and will display the importance of action through generational remembrance. Charleston County Council, Teddy E. Pryor Sr., Chairman.
Thank you. I'm going to ask Ms. Honeycutt if you want to say a few words, and then I'll turn it over to whoever is going to speak.
Well, we just want to say thank you. We stand in solidarity. We also, this has personal meaning to me as I have family that escaped the Holocaust. My grandfather was a Goldberg, and not many people know that. He lives on Johns Island. But this has tremendous meaning to my family as well, so we appreciate you being here and doing this for us annually. So if you want to speak.
All right, who's want to speak? Go right ahead.
My name is Fred Volkman, and I'm on the Charleston Jewish Federation's Remember Program Committee, which consists of Holocaust survivors, their descendants, educators, and concerned citizens. The Remember Program for the Holocaust Education and Genocide Awareness educates and builds community among all races, faiths, and ethnicities within the Charleston community, and inspires citizens to stand against hate, bias, and anti-Semitism. And to repeat what was mentioned, we invite all of you to participate in the community-wide Holocaust Remembrance Program and the Holocaust Memorial, Marion Square, May 1st, this Sunday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I also wanted to mention that if you see all the yellow candles here, those represent, or they're modeled after the memorial candles that Jews use for when there's a death in the family or in remembrance of a member that passed. And the yellow color represents the yellow armbands and the badges that the Nazi regime forced the Jews to wear during the Holocaust. I just wanted to thank you all for committing to Holocaust education and awareness in our community. Thank you.
All right, do y'all want us to light these down? Okay, let the rabbi, after the rabbi speaks, then we light it.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here with the Jewish Federation and representing KKBE, and I'm honored to stand with Deanie Adkins, who has never turned down an opportunity to teach young people at our synagogue and at schools throughout Charleston County about the importance of remembering. And from our prayer book for Yom HaShoah, Holocaust Remembrance Day, we read, "In the presence of eyes which witnessed the slaughter, which saw the oppression the heart could not bear, and as witnessed the heart that once taught compassion, until the days came to pass that crushed human feeling. I have taken an oath to remember it all, to remember not once to forget not one to the last generation, when degradation shall cease, to the last to its ending, when the rod of instruction shall have come to conclusion, an oath not in vain passed over the night of terror, an oath, no morning shall see me at flesh pots again, an oath, lest we learn nothing. And together, amen.
Let us all light our, there we go. Is Mr. Ingles still with us? Yes. Yeah. Tell him I said, yeah, all the time. Yeah, I see that carrying on. Tell Mr. Ingles I said hi. Tell him I said hi. I always enjoy seeing him, and I miss him. You're welcome.
Good to see you. Being here. Thank you all.
For me, your proclamation. I was 4 years old and I didn't come back out of hiding or the woods, and I was beaten, and when I can't do it anymore because I'm 84 years old, and my daughter here will take over for me for the second generation. It was a very hard time, and right now my heart is with all those people who died in the Holocaust, the Jewish people and Jehovah's Witnesses, the handicapped, and so more. I, again, appreciate very much for you people take the time to do this for us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You're quite welcome. Tell Mr. Ingles, we asked about him. Tell Mr. Ingles we asked about him, okay? And we praying for him. Thank you. Okay, we now move to item number 4, second reading, ordinance 4A is Charleston County PRC GO bonds.
Yes.
Move for approval.
This is a second reading, yeah.
An ordinance finding that, finding that Charleston County Park and Recreation District may issue not exceeding $8 million general obligation bonds in one or more series to authorize Charleston County Park and Recreation District to issue such bonds and to provide for the publication of the notice of the said finding and authorization. Mr. Darby?
Aye.
Mrs. Honeycutt?
Aye.
Ms. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Moody?
Aye.
Mr. Sass? Mr. Werman?
Aye.
Mr. Pryor?
Aye.
The ordinance passes second reading with 7 ayes and 2 absent.
Number 4B amendment.
Chairman?
Yes, sir.
I would move to amend the procurement ordinance to amend Section 2-255 Procurement Appeals Board to change the term from 2 years to 4 years.
Is there a second to this amendment?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, ayes have them. Ms. Salisbury.
Amending the Charleston County Procurement Ordinance as amended, Division 1 General, Division 2 Organization, Division 3 Source Selection and Contract Formation, Division 5 Construction, Architect, Engineer, and Land Surveying Services, Division 8 Intergovernmental Relations, Division 9 Small Business Enterprise SBE Program, Division 11 Local Preference Option as amended. Mr. Darby?
Aye.
Mrs. Honeycutt? Aye. Ms. Johnson? Aye. Mr. Moody?
Aye.
Mr. Sass? Aye. Mr. Werman?
Aye.
Mr. Pryor?
Aye.
Ordinance passes second reading with 7 ayes and 2 absent.
Okay, item 5A is a resolution to make Bearsfield Community Historic District designation. What is the pleasure?
Second.
Moved by Ms. Johnson, second by Ms. Honeycutt. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, ayes have it. First reading.
An ordinance designating the Beafield community located in the James Island area of unincorporated Charleston County as a historic district on the Charleston County Historic Designation List.
Okay, item 6 is a consent agenda, A, B, and C. What is the
For committee
pleasure?
recommendation, Mr. Chairman.
Is there a second? Second. Second by Mr. Sass. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, ayes have it. Item 7 is 7A through H, What is the pleasure? This is our Greenbelt projects. A through H, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. A through L?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't turn the sheet over. All right, A through L, what is the pleasure?
Move for committee recommendation.
Mr. Pryor.
Second by Ms. Johnson. Mr. Darby, discussion.
Sorry. If Mount Pleasant Way is in the town of Mount Pleasant, I'd like to have a divided vote, sir.
Okay, so we'll take out I and separate. All in favor of the aforesaid A through L with the exception of I,
Right.
signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, ayes have it. Okay, 7-I, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
I'm going to oppose Mr. Pryor. I'm just of the opinion that until the town of Mount Pleasant treat the people of Snowden fairly, I am not going to vote for anything for the town to procure. It's simply not fair, and I will not support this because of the residents of Snowden not being treated fairly.
Mr. Darby?
Chairman.
Yes, sir.
I wanted to thank our Greenbelt team, and that this is kind of the first big slug. I think we've had onesies and twosies, but this was a load. So, welcome to the jungle, I guess. But they did a fine job.
Thank you. Anybody else? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
All right, one nay. All right. Okay, we now move into, before I go into council comments, before you should have gotten an email on yesterday, but I have physical copies of what Secretary Hall had sent to us, because I wanted you to take these and look them over. And she is going to be in town next Thursday at our Finance Committee meeting. And I will give her an opportunity to make a presentation to the public. And then we can discuss this when she comes here, because I don't think it'll be fair for me to ask y'all to discuss this tonight. And you just got it about 4 or 5 hours ago. Okay? And so with that being said, I'm going to move to council comments. If there's anything else, so I'm going to move to my right, Mr. Darby.
None.
Ms. Honeycutt.
Yes, I do have a couple. First, one of our resolutions, and I'm not sure anyone was here tonight, was for the May 6th Child Care Providers Day. And so I just wanted to bring recognition to those who, especially during the pandemic, as we come out of that, provided for children in our community. Also, we've heard a lot in the news about the Point Farms issue, and so wanted some clarification. I don't know if I should ask the legal team or Mr. Tootin's team and the zoning office, but if we could get maybe some clarification on what zoning amendments might need to be made to address any of that, I would appreciate a response. Can we get that?
Okay, so the three of y'all can get together and bring us back one document. Yes. Okay?
Thank you.
That be good for you?
Yes, sir.
All right, okay, Ms. Johnson.
I just want to thank everybody for supporting the Beefield community request to be recognized as a historic district. I think this is a great opportunity for the community to have this done, and also for our citizens to be able to recognize the community as a whole.
Thank you.
It's a beautiful place.
All right, Mr. Sass?
Nothing for me tonight, thank you.
Moody?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for lining up that meeting with Secretary Hall. I look forward to hearing her comments. And that also, Ms. Honeycutt, thank you I was thinking the same thing. I mean, that mitigation credit is just not 526. It crushes everything that we're doing. So we've got to figure out how to get that straight. So thank you for bringing that up, Jenny.
Yes, sir.
Mrs. Honeycutt, sorry.
Ms. Honeycutt.
Sorry, Mr. Darby.
All right, you good, Mr. Moody?
I'm good, thank you.
All right, Mr. Werman?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I can't let tonight move forward without mentioning I joined the North Charleston Police Department on one of the recap team's peace walks on Friday. There have been a rash of violence that I know some members of this council have raised before, and numerous folks in the community groups and activists have come to us with proposals and ideas of trying to get some engagement from the county. And it's not an easy issue to engage on, because there's areas where we have to interface with the municipalities, there's areas where we have some obvious sort of police power, But, you know, obviously, the same weekend that I go on this walk, you know, the horrible news and the horrible sights that we saw up at the baseball game at Pepper Hill Community. And I know, Mr. Chairman, you're familiar with that. I hope that moving forward, we can maybe have some renewed focus, renewed energy, and I'm sure we will, on finding out exactly how we interface with this issue, because it's difficult, and I'm not saying it's easy, and I'm not saying I have the solution here in my pocket, and I know our public safety director is thinking about this constantly. So I think that, you know, it's been a weekend of a stark reminder, for me at the very least, that I myself and hopefully would join Mr. Moody and others in trying to focus more attention on that issue, as it certainly is becoming an increasingly severe issue in our county.
Thank you, Mr. Wimmerman, for your willingness to address that and bring it up. But as you know, today we had several press conferences I attended to, and I, like you, would like to address this. Mr. Darby and myself, for many, many years, has been, you know, trying to address these things, and it seems like once you get it under control, it just, you know, spreads all over again. So what I would like to do is, I called the sheriff on today, but she's out of town, to a FBI Academy training. So when she gets back, I told her I would like to meet with her, Mayor Sami and his police chief, Mayor Tecklenburg and his police chief, and Mayor Haney and his police chief, along with our Deputy Director Watson, to see about, you know, forming a joint task force and working together instead of trying to work separate, because it's just too many man hours. I know a lot of these stuff happen in municipalities, but it's still Charleston County. And so anything we can do to assist them, I think we need to, but this is, you know, the new world. Welcome to the new modern world with, you know, with some of these youngsters. They don't value life, you know, over the decisions they choose, but we just can't write them off. We got to figure out a way to make this happen. But, you know, I think we need to support law enforcement, because, you know, they got a job to do, and, you know, they just have to go back to old community policing where, you know, if there's someone needs to be stopped, you stop without being fair of the community in the backlash saying, you know, you're profiling or you're doing something that's not right. So it's going to take a team effort, and, you know, I'm willing to work with anybody to get it done, but, you know, we have to have safe streets. We got to have law and order, and whatever it takes to get to that, I'm all in. And I would like to also say we need to continue to pray for the folks in Ukraine. I mean, the courageous battle that they're putting up, you know, and the struggle. Let's keep them in prayer 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, because when you look at the devastation, you look at some of the pictures, and now 3-month-old babies that are being killed, that's heartbreaking. And so we must keep them in prayer. Ms. Johnson, you want to say something before we
I just
close?
wanted to ask you to please include me in the meeting that you're talking about.
Well, I will do that. I will call you and get with you. But Reverend Middleton, anything you'd like to say before we close out?
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to all of the members of council, the administrator, the staff that's present tonight. I just wanted to, again, stand in solidarity with all of council relative to the Holocaust Remembrance Resolution. Certainly remembering with the Jewish community. I did see Rabbi Cantor and certainly those who came from KKBE, Brandon Fish, and the Jewish Federation. We do, again, still offer our sincere, just heartfelt prayers to the entire Jewish community, and I wanted to at least stand with you all, even virtually, in doing that. And as you continue to discuss this very horrific subject of gun violence and the violence that we're seeing in our communities, definitely I am all over that as well, wanting to be at least one at the table, trying to find solutions that will move us toward a greater good. And again, thank you all for allowing me to come in virtually, and I pray to be out of quarantine this week, and so I should be able to join you next week.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, anybody else, Mr. Administrator, the attorney? Sir. All right, meeting adjourned.
We have an executive session. We have an executive
No,
session.
executive session was, I'm not going to.